And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister of Australia, the Honourable R.J.L. Hawke.
Your Excellencies, Your Royal Highnesses, Premiers of the States of the Commonwealth, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We begin these celebrations today in no spirit of boastfulness or of national self-glorification. This is a day of commemoration. Even more important, it is a day of commitment. Commemoration of the past, commitment to the future. But my fellow Australians, today I use the word commitment in a very special sense. For our commitment to Australia is in a very real way the quality which best defines what it means to be an Australian in 1988. For let us ask ourselves on this day of all days, what is it that links us in this generation with the generations that have gone before? It is not only the fact that for the past 200 years and to this day we have been a nation of immigrants. It is not only the fact that we share together this vast continent as our homeland. It is not only the shared inheritance of all that has been built here and achieved here over the past 200 years. And it is not only the common bond of institutions, standards, language and culture. Indeed, in today's Australia, our very diversity is an ever-growing source of a richness, vitality and the strength of our community. It is true that all these things that I've mentioned go to shape the Australian character and to define the Australian identity. Yet, beyond them, there remains one vital factor in the answer to the question, who is an Australian? And that factor is a commitment to Australia and to its future. It is that common commitment which binds the Australian born of the 7th or 8th generation and all those of their fellow Australians born in any of the 130 countries from which our people are drawn. In Australia, there is no hierarchy of descent. There must be no privilege of origin. The commitment is all. The commitment to Australia is the one thing needful to be a true Australian. And today, my fellow Australians, at this historic place and at this historic hour, let us all renew that commitment. Our commitment to Australia and to Australia's cause, the cause of freedom, fairness, justice and peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, my wife and I are delighted to be able to return to Australia at this very special time to celebrate with you your nation's bicentennial. It is a historic and splendid occasion for all of us, not only here in Australia, but all over the world, and not least in the United Kingdom. The modern nation of Australia began here 200 years ago today. They were harsh beginnings, and the people who were sent here against their will had little cause to rejoice. And all that was just yesterday. As history goes, 200 years is barely a heartbeat. Yet look around you and see what has happened in that time. A whole new free people. The people of a whole new free country, Australia. If it takes regular visitors from an old country to help you decide whether you should be celebrating or not, my wife and I will be glad to be of assistance.
The ceremonial dressing of the Guard is taking place, and all is set now for the arrival of His Excellency Sir Ninian Stephen, the Governor-General of Australia, and his group, including two well-known Canberrans, the Honourable Fred Daly, a former government minister, and Mrs. Marjorie Turbain, well known to those in the media in Canberra as the manager of the National Press Club.
The raising of the Australian flag on Australia Day is a long-established tradition, an Australian tradition, and raising it here in our national capital is symbolic of the unity of this nation of ours. This year, it's got special significance. Significance because we review our past 2 centuries, and reflect on what the future holds for all of us. We are, in this bicentenary year, reviewing and reflecting more deeply than ever before on our history of the past, both the 200 past years of white settlement and the 400 or more centuries of black occupation that preceded them. And that can't be other than good, because self-knowledge is as valuable for nations as it is for individuals. And on this immense flagpole, one Canadian tree from a Canadian forest, but on this occasion a tree put to good use, I ask that now be raised the Australian flag.